So we open. It's been about it's the next day from. That's exactly what we open on.
Okay, can it be said that I at least gave Thomas a gift? Because Stryker had one, but we kind of had a thing that happened at the carnival.
Yeah. If
So
y'all
we
want to kind of like resolve that night real quick, that's fine.
I mean, we took the guy back for cake, I thought, so you could give it to me then.
That's right. Y'all were gonna shadow portal him back and give him cake and all that.
Sorry we waterboarded you. Here, have some cake.
We promise it's not poisoned.
We just carried it around? Oh, right. Oh, we did promise some cake. Sorry, I forgot.
That's a good as apology, though.
So, yeah, y'all shadow ported him back to your secret headquarters under the penguins and gave him cake. He kind of questioned the empty aquarium.
We cried
We
about the loss
put
of
him back
Mr. Pinchy.
outside. He doesn't get to talk about them.
We don't want to talk about Mr. Pinchy right now. We're dealing with a loss.
You gave Thomas the gifts. Any gifts y'all got him? What?
Yeah. It's
So
nothing
he
like
actually,
amazingly fancy, but they are like some of those like fingerless gloves. Because he's like, I notice you tend to slip your grip when we're sparring. This should help you reduce that mistake. As he kind of like thinks back to how many fights you won through bullshit slips, using your stupid powers to like ramp up the probability, like a time where like you'd gone to punch him, but your hand slipped against his face and you actually hit him dead in the jaw. And he's just like, yeah, let's make these like more intentional strikes. They don't look, actually, he probably got some of Phi's opinion, so they actually look pretty nice and not like aesthetically clashing with the rest of your hero outfit.
it's nice black leather.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you look at the picture that was so helpfully added into my bio, I'm all silver and purple, so it's not like my suit is aesthetically the best.
So you're not going for the subtle. Okay, so they were, yeah.
They were
when my powers came in, my dad just got real excited and made me a kid version of my mom's old uniform, and it's like, thanks.
It's a very Stryker gift given about the way you'd expect Stryker to, and then he kind of goes off to like keep an eye on this kid because, I mean, he half trusts him.
Oh yeah, Norman's absolutely just like keeping eyes on him wherever he goes, to probably an uncomfortable level. He's very nervous about having someone else in here.
Yeah, why you decided this was a good idea is beyond him.
I didn't. I wasn't the one that offered it. I was peer pressured.
Yeah, but like when Stryker was like, "Why don't we just take the cake out of the cave?" Everyone looked at him like he was crazy. Here we are in the cave, so really, you're the one with the shadow portals, so it's on you.
It's true. Nevertheless, Norman gives Thomas the completed schedule, the promise of a good time, which didn't come to completion, unfortunately. But it's the thought that counts.
My present was our trip, but you fucked it up.
I tried to let us have a nice time.
Billy is awkwardly eating his cake, like looking down into it, like fuck. They're gonna attack me again because I ruined their night.
And so Fee walks up and she gives him a card, and inside, she gives Thomas a card, and inside it's actually a gift card, and it is to any variety of. It's sort of like an Amazon gift card if they have something that's equivalent to that. She's like, I didn't know what you needed. I didn't know what you would want. So here, I'm giving you the gift that you get to choose your own present.
I love it.
I tried.
It's called cash.
Basically, well.
Wow, how is the most personalized and successful the combination of the two gifts from Stryker?
I'm sorry, who's the leader?
Hey, I didn't say that loud.
I put a lot of thought into that schedule.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
to fail because of Billy.
Yeah, Billy. I give him the stink eye.
He decides not to look directly at Billy. And instead remains focused on Thomas. It's just like, no, I'm not looking over there. The man's eating cake. Nope, not looking at.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the cold stare of death, but it's not a comfortable glare that is directed from Stryker to him.
I just wave with a mouthful of cake.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, your job's to enjoy yourself.
All right.
Ta-da. I pick up some of the confetti and just throw it. We do. Ta-da.
Yeah, Billy finishes his, and he's like, thank you. I guess I can go now if you'll. How do I leave?
Are we just bringing him? Are we letting him go on his way? Was it a suggestion, or are we bringing him to?
Let me talk to the professor.
Okay, what am I doing here?
Waiting so I can call her.
Okay. Oh, right. Cell phones. I thought you needed. Okay, yeah.
He gives you one.
You get all these powers, you start forgetting.
Yeah, sure. Crazy people. And he just kind of walks away and calls Dr. Blackwell.
It rings a few times, and she answers, Stryker, how are you doing?
Fine. I have encountered a individual of interest. I think that's how you usually put kids with powers.
Okay. What's going on with this one?
Apparently homeless. No longer really has a family around him. Has cancer and has been using his powers to alleviate that condition.
That's
which
interesting.
May have caused a
what did
aggressive
you do? She didn't even let you finish. What did you do?
He
doesn't have any parents. What did you do?
To preface, I only knew that he was young, and I only knew that after Phi had potentially been put in danger. I threatened to compromise his ability to walk. I put him through a stall. We proceeded to waterboard him. I gave him a full Nelson. At that point, he had finally confessed his background and that what he wasn't doing was trying to kill me, but to take some of my energy that would eventually come back. I felt you were better at this, like, organization stuff than I am, so that he doesn't do this again with someone who isn't willing to stop kicking the shit out of him.
Well, thank you for showing restraint. Yes, of course. I'll help out any way I can. If he needs some place to stay for the night until we can get something better, I have spare rooms.
Yes, I thought bringing him over to you would be best. And then, I don't know, we talk to someone about facilitating this in a way that isn't random.
Of course, yeah. Definitely try to find out the best way to get him the help he needs, and it doesn't sound like he needs much in the way of energy in any way that's going to hurt anybody, so absolutely. If you get him over here, we can get him set up for the night and start helping him, looking for help for tomorrow.
All right. And he hangs up and turns to Norm. Well, Mr. Stackhouse, now, we should portal him to her.
Did you say that out loud? Because that's not a good thing to say. That's really bad to say.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm gonna like be real.
Okay, I made that mistake. Stryker wouldn't have.
Okay.
Again, the idea of having him in our secret hideout is so incongruous. Like my brain can't actually process. He's dead.
That's true. That's why I still have my hood. I obviously won't take it off until he is out of the picture.
Shadow.
No. But yeah, keep going. I get it.
You.
Yes.
Let's portal him out. I got permission.
All right. I guess since I don't want to intrude, I will try to portal us. Are we all going? Or just you and him? Or just him?
I mean, I should go. I don't know if the rest of you would be necessary or want to deal with talking with her at length about your abilities, so you probably shouldn't.
That's true. You're gonna be okay walking back? Actually, never mind. Shouldn't have said that. Yeah, here.
So Fee actually decides to get up and go to stand beside Stryker since she's like, I've already been questioned by Professor Blackwell. It's fine. I'll come with you.
Yeah, right before he teleports away, you just hear, really on the top of your game today. as he sasses Norman a little before leaving.
The portal shifts into a volcano. No. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, kill Billy and 5 for your spite.
It's okay. I can stop them. I can like shoot water. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. We'll somehow not die. Cause a fucking like tsunami into the volcano. That can't possibly cause problems.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate I can be, but outside of the building is preferable. So I'll just appear in her lab. I don't know where she'd be.
Yeah, you following where Stryker directs and everything else. You open up the portal, and whoever's going goes, and Billy goes, and y'all get him all set up and everything. And she just kind of reiterates, thanking Stryker for showing restraint and not actually crippling him, and for calling her to try to help him. And you head back. We'll jump ahead. Everybody goes home or does whatever y'all normally do at night for those who have homes. Then jump to the next day, where around 1 o'clock you've all kind of reconvened back at the secret base. But before we jump to that, Barricade Man.
Yo.
You are doing your normal kind of patrols, flying around the city a bit, and you hear out of like some ways away a very loud, sounds like a trumpet. Pretty far away and louder than any trumpet has a right to be. And it's immediately followed by what sounds to be an explosion in the distance.
I'm going to turn around and head towards that immediately.
Okay. So, yeah, as you... What was that?
Sorry, keep going.
I had the wrong thing up, so I needed to see what was going on. So, yeah, you spin around in the opposite direction you're going and head towards the source. And you hear it, the sound of the trumpet going on louder and louder as you get closer. And then you hear what sounds like it might actually be a saxophone as well. A little bit more goes in and kind of sounds like a flute, and they're louder than normal by any means. And every time you hear a new instrument, there's like another boom or something shattering or things like of that nature. And you can't help but notice it actually, if it wasn't destroying things, kind of sounds like a good jazz number. And it's leading you to the zoo. And as you approach in a large gathering common area where people have now scattered, you see a woman, probably no more than 21 years old, um, dark hair, mid back, wearing jeans and basic red T-shirt, and she's just kind of standing in the middle of the large common area, and parts of like the gift shop have been broken open and crumbled down, and like the restrooms over there are on fire, and her face is kind of blank. Her eyes look to almost be rolled back in her head, as her arms are out, and her hands are extended open, but coming out of each hand looks like multiple sets of other hands, kind of ephemeral and ghostly, and those ghostly hands are playing these instruments. And the flute one, there, it almost seems like there's you can't make out any details, but almost like a spectral head kind of coming out of the side of her own face playing this instrument. The instruments they look solid though, even though the hands are clearly spectral in nature. And as they play, you see like a certain note gets hit on the trumpet, and it releases this massive burst of energy that just flies out and it actually moves right past you, heading into like a blow up part of the column that leads to the entryway into the zoo.
Can I move to intercept the energy?
Yes, go ahead and have you roll to defend.
Okay.
Which would pull that up. That would be rolling a savior.
So, 6, 2. That is not a slash, it's a question mark. Hold peace.
In the pop-up box, you don't need to put anything typically.
I got a 10.
Okay. Yeah. On the character sheet, if you bring that up, I'll take the 10, but just if you hit like the that dice button that I was telling you about, it'll pop up a box. You hit submit, and then that's what it'll pop up instead, and it'll show you, yeah, like the hit or miss. But you got a 10. You got a 10 the first time, so we'll go with that one.
Yeah. Do I put the 2 then in the situational bonus, or does it calculate that because there's a 2 next to my savior number?
Yeah, it'll calculate that already.
Okay.
Okay, so with defend on a full hit, you keep the thing safe, and you get to choose one from the options there. Which,
so 10 or higher doesn't give me 2?
For defend, actually no, you don't. Yeah, you just choose one for defend.
Alright, so...
And there's really not a whole lot to do right now. It's more of just if you could intercept it. If you could, like, if you're not really trying to protect anybody, you're trying to property damage, and you don't have a condition, so you'd probably have to just add team to the pool, which would be a point you could do.
I will add team to the pool.
It blends in really well with the picture because it's the same thing.
Now, are people trying to funnel out of that exit that I just protected?
Yeah, a lot of them have already gotten out. There's not a whole lot of people around this area anymore. They were pretty much gone by the time you arrived.
All right, and then take a free action then just to call to anybody that's there, even if it's obvious. Everybody, calmly make your way towards the exits. We need to evacuate immediately.
And kind of tucked away in a corner around the edge, you see a guy kind of crouched down, and he hears that, and he makes a run for it. As the blast kind of hits you, but you manage to shrug it off, and it kind of hits you, and it rattles you a little bit, but not in any way that hurts or anything of that nature, and the energy dissipates around you. So he manages to run past as this woman just keeps playing these instruments. And we're going to cut real quick now back to the headquarters before this actually starts, where you've all just kind of gathered to figure out what y'all want to do for the day. And Obsidian Shade, he happens to notice while he's looking at going over files and whatnot, there's a news pop up talking about the incident at the boardwalk previous night of superhuman delinquents destroying property, and there's very rough, grainy surveillance footage where you see like the shadow portal kind of open where Thomas runs out and busts into somebody and moves into and bounces the guy off when you see Stryker come up and suplex the guy into the booth and all that. It's hard to make out any details, but you know enough that your dad, if he sees this, would definitely recognize the nature of the portal.
I might. Is everyone here?
Yeah, everyone's reconvened and everything for the day to figure out what y'all want to do for today, if plan and any other future plans, things of that nature.
Yeah, guys, they got us on video. It's not that great, but oh god, I have to talk to my dad if he doesn't. This is not good.
I mean, Stryker's facial expression is dead neutral because he doesn't give half a shit whether he's on camera or not.
Wait, they didn't get our faces, did they?
No, it's too pixelated to see, but they definitely. Well, if my dad sees it, he'd know it would be it was me.
Oh, and Thomas,
I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Thomas put on the domino mask while he was running, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm safe. My dad
Yeah.
doesn't have to know.
Yeah, I don't know if my dad would be as accepting as of the reasoning.
You were protecting your teammate.
That's true. But that's not how the media is portraying it. If it comes out that Obsidian Shade was part of this ordeal, well, I can't really explain that to everyone at this point.
Well, yes, because the media is always known as truthful. He says kind of flippantly, obviously unhappy with the situation and unhappy that it keeps getting brought up.
Well, I'll have to hope that he doesn't see it for now. Or should I get ahead of the news? I don't know.
Can you call someone and like maybe get them to distract him from the news for like 30 minutes? I'm sure something else important will happen.
Oh, he has eyes everywhere. If he doesn't see it, someone will tell him, I'm sure.
It is better to face conflict than run away from it.
Yeah.
Would it be better if we go too?
No, I don't think a bunch of heroes going into the Stackhouse residence will be super great. I think I could probably handle this alone. Should I actually like have a conversation with them, or are we gonna do that later? Or
Well, yeah, I was gonna say as y'all are talking, you kind of feel a slight rumble, and coming from the distance somewhere, that something happened powerful enough to kind of shake the base slightly, even underground there. And a little bit more time passes, and an alert kind of pops up on the screen again. Some of the security footage you've tapped into at the zoo there, and you see the woman with the spectral fingers and the jazz instruments attacking the zoo, people running and everything else. And as you kind of are starting to recognize what's going on, you see a hero, or you're assuming is a hero, zoom in, pretty large individual. You figure is close to a little bit under 6 feet, in a blue and black costume, flying in, and he seems to move himself in front of one of the energy blasts coming out of the trumpet that she's playing. But this is all going on near the entrance of the zoo in the big gathering common area that y'all are actually stationed under.
Okay, well, Feet automatically moves to like put on her mask and start to move towards the exit to get out into the common area to start trying to help.
I think we should probably portal, or well,
yeah,
obvious.
I walk as I'm walking over to my costume. I'm calling directly to my father's voicemail and saying, "Oh, hey, Dad, I guess I missed you. I'm gonna come over and talk about the. Oh no, the zoo's under attack." End call.
Oh no, the zoo's under attack. This is a surprise. I gotta buy.
We cut to the Stackhouse Manor, and we see your dad sitting in a chair with a cup of coffee in hand as his picks up his phone off the chair and looks at it and sees voicemail, sees who it's from, looks back to the TV where he's watching the report.
I guess he's telling the truth.
Yeah, while Obsidian's getting.
No, he's watching the report
ready.
about the boardwalk.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Stryker rolls his eyes and says, "Courageously confronted indeed."
Well, I'm not just going to go right now. Surely this is more courageous than talking to my father.
He kind of just stares at you while the rest of them get ready.
Anyways, are we all good?
And y'all gonna shadow portal in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're coming out of the thing.
Barricade man, as you get one more person, you make sure that they make it out safely. The few stragglers that are running that way versus further into the zoo, you see a portal of darkness, kind of like a little spot, and then it balloons out as 4 individuals come basically running out of. I don't think any of you have flight. One is just a kid. I mean, he's got a hoodie on, but is just a kid. Another one's a woman, kind of a bluish outfit, rather large gauntlets, a glowing belt buckle, and domino mask. The third one's another kid, very obviously young, in a white trench coat with white pants and purple boots and gloves and undervest, with also wearing a domino mask. And the last one is really more of a blur of darkness that kind of steps out in the portal, closing behind him as he does.
Oh, great. Seems the rest of the band has reinforcements. I take a couple of sped up steps back and get into a defensive position.
Okay. So as y'all emerge from the portal, you see the hero in the blue who had taken some blasts from the woman suddenly see you all and kind of move into a defensive pose as a torrent of like sonic energy slams into the 4 of you from the flute. I need you all to roll to take a powerful blow, all 4 of you.
Oh, you motherfucker! This is why you mentioned about talking about. Oh man, I hope you keep getting that good luck with the fucking. I didn't even do anything and I got hit today. oh, the luck is still with me. God bless.
Damn it, I'm supposed to be the lucky one. Fuck you.
Hey, you know what? I deserve this. I've had a year of failure preceding this moment.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's start with
How appropriate. Stryker the kid looked fine.
yeah. Let's start with Thomas. You got a 10, so pick 2
or 1, right?
or 1. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Out. I haven't taken a powerful blow in so long. I don't remember what they do.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Okay, no. On a 10 plus, remove yourself, lose control of your powers, or 2 options from the other one. Fuck it, I'm 15 and I didn't ask for this. I try to run away.
Okay.
Like,
That's fine.
So I'm gonna kind of resolve it all at once, though. So, Obsidian Shade.
I'm tempted to lash out at the guy that just freaking thought we were enemies as we get hit, but I won't. Honestly, after just coming out of a portal, getting blindsided, I'd probably give ground.
Okay.
That and the first option has to be specifically someone you see as a teammate.
That's true.
Because you have to provoke them into action or take advantage of them. Well, I meant of their influence. Wow, that sounds really bad.
And Fee?
I'm going to say she absolutely gives ground. So she was running, and this bit of sound hits her and it knocks her back a good 5 feet, and she's just sort of stunned for a moment, unsure of like what just hit her.
Yeah, so Barricade Man, as they come out, you see the flute with the kind of the spectral head kind of turn towards them, and it releases a burst of energy at them, and it bombards them. Two of them go flying backwards, kind of slamming hard into the ground, being knocked back a good 5 to 10 feet, slightly dazed. One of them, he gets hit even harder, but it's odd because while he goes flying off further, he happens to land on like a pile of stuffed animals that somebody had dropped, and kind of rolls to his feet. But then you just see him like look around, like almost confused, and then just take off running in the opposite direction. And the one that looked just like a kid, he gets hit by it, and it knocks him back a bit, but he lands in like in a almost like he planned it because he probably did. Hits the ground rolling. It springs back up, ready to attack.
Attack I shall. This motherfucker hit most of my friends. Is there a park bench nearby?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna use it in a china shop, rip that off, and chuck it at that piece of shit. You are not the only one with ranged combat.
Okay. We'll go ahead and roll.
Norman just face palms, like, what did we just go over?
They
We
started.
talked about this.
Oh yeah, this frustrates my rival even better. A free +1. Thank you, Obsidian.
Ugh.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, I get to pick 3 options. Get destroyed, friend. I'm gonna avoid resist or avoid their blows. Frighten the opposition, as I would imagine a park bench to the body would elicit. Maybe take away their ability to do that like sound wave attack again, at least for a while, like because I hit like 4 people at once.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you see the wave resolve, and the kid, like I said, roll back up to his feet, and you just see him run over. He picks up a park bench, rips it bolts and all from the ground. You see the bolts just kind of dangling from the loops that they were connected in, and hurl it at the woman. As it goes flying at her, the arm with the trumpet moves up and releases a burst, and parts of the chair get destroyed, but the remains of it can force through and arc underneath the oncoming blast and slam into her head, knocking her down, and the flute snapping underneath as from the impact as well, as she kind of falls to the ground, and she just kind of lifts straight up with like showing no effort at all, still sitting, but her back half just moved up as if doing an effortless sit up without any type of bend or anything. It looked very unnatural. And you can make a move now, Barricade.
Oh, also, Stryker does look to this dude who like defended in their direction as opposed to the enemy. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because he was pretty confused. We stepped out the game. We're like, "All right, he's a hero and getting the villain." And he just pointed at us. It was like, so yeah, the Stryker, he was pretty confused. And also,
to be fair, you randomly pour in the middle of the fight, and I have to trust you immediately.
I mean, hey,
exactly.
Like a crazy person does
Hey,
prove that he's
we
not
were just
the enemy.
on the news. We're famous, okay?
Yeah, you know us. We're those guys who waterboarded a kid.
You didn't recognize
I'm
us
going
from
to.
the blurry, pixelated footage.
If you excuse me, I got a job to do. Thanks for the help, though. I'm going to super speed over to the bench and try and wrap it around her torso.
Whoa.
Okay, go ahead and roll directly engage.
All right, so I just have to remember what that is.
It's a danger.
It should be danger.
Yeah, it says it under the
Should be
thing.
danger?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just had that minimized as well. And that's not going to be a very good one. Nope.
Oof.
Yeah, so you speed up and you grab the bench and you very quickly knock away all the wooden parts. So you're just left with the metal. But as you do that and move to wrap it around her, She turns and her hand, or one of the spectral hands, actually kind of drops the weapon it had for a moment as another hand kind of comes out of her forearm and grabs it as it falls. And the first one grabs the metal in your hand and it melds it into another flute as it moves up to the head again. And as it does, she releases another sonic burst directly into you. Need you to go ahead and roll conditions. It would be it's take a powerful blow, but it's listed as conditions there on the right side of the character sheet. Okay. So on conditions, you want to roll low. 6 or under means you withstood the blast or the attack.
Oh, okay.
And anytime you roll a miss, mark a potential also on your sheet. That's how you build experience in this game, by missing.
Gotcha.
But as she unleashes it, you just kind of stand there with the look of annoyance on your face as it hits you, but it doesn't seem to rattle you very much. And the three of you, Fee, Obsidian, and Stryker, see this as well, as he just kind of stands there taking the blast head on, full force.
All right.
If you didn't say something super snobby before doing it, maybe this would have been impressive. Back off, kid. Let me show you how it's done. And it fails. Well, I mean, Stryker's path is clear. His options never change in combat.
Right, but we'll give Fee or Obsidian a chance since they haven't done anything. Now I'm recovering from the powerful blow.
All right. So, are there any sources of water that have been blasted open? Say, like a water fountain that's been pushed over and the water spurting out over it?
Well, there's actually a large fountain itself that has different animals mounted around it, water coming out of their mouths. The side of it has been busted open so that the pooled area is actually pouring out onto the ground. And so the amount that's being sprayed out from the animals themselves is a little bit less, as there's less being cycled through.
That's fun. Fee reaches out her hands and she's going to try to channel a blast. She's going to try to force this water to sort of heat up and move it in the direction of this flute playing bitch, and just completely try to blast her with a blast of not necessarily superheated water, but use it to help get some momentum and try to force it a little bit back to try to knock the flute, maybe knock the trumpet away from these spectral heads that they are using to play these instruments and cause this damage.
Okay. So roll to directly engage.
Okay.
Nice.
Boom!
All right. So pick your two options.
All right.
One would be, I would imagine, the creating opportunity for your allies by knocking her back and taking out the weapons.
Absolutely. So she's going to knock out, knock some like the flute and the trumpet away from the spectral heads to allow the other to be able to come in. And she's actually going to sort of surprise this figure by hitting her with this large blast of water so quickly and so powerfully.
Okay. So yeah, you reach out and pull up the water, kind of swirls around you, and then goes down your arm and projects forward, slamming into her body. As it does, or moments before it hits, actually, the trumpet and the flute kind of turn to you while she's still facing a different direction. They face you in a weird, unnatural looking way and release a counterburst of sonic energy. But then the water hits her and slams her back, smashing her into the brick wall of the entrance that's still standing, while the instrument she was holding kind of clattered to the ground. But I need you to take a powerful blow as well.
All right.
Can I defend her?
You can.
Cool.
I was going to say that if you didn't.
Oh, trust me. There's never a time I'm not going to say it when it's her.
I'm the savior boy. Well,
in this particular instance, I'm actually better than you at defending only her. Or you, weirdly enough. I'm going to clear a condition.
Okay. So, seeing the blast heading towards Svi, you spring into action, leaping towards her, grabbing her, and you both kind of tuck and roll out of the way as the blast goes overhead, shattering apart the statue that was behind her that she drew the water from. As the woman that you blasted into the brick wall seems to almost be, she still has like a blank look on her face, and the eyes kind of rolled back in her head, but she's not really moving, almost like she's slightly dazed. Obsidian Shade, if you want to go do something.
Did you say she was blasted through the brick wall or
She slammed into it, like hit it hard.
Okay, then as I say that, or as I see that happening, I'm gonna try sort of what I did before, and try to have some shades. How's the light situation going here? Actually,
I mean, it's midday. It was about 1 p.m. or so when all this was going down, but there's a lot of shadow from surviving overhangs and things of that nature around that could be drawn in that direction.
Like the wall that she smashed into, would there be a shadow cast by it?
Yes, there would.
Okay, then I'm going to try, as she gets slammed into the wall, to try to, like, chain her, at least her arms to it, to keep her there.
Okay.
Not trying to hurt her, as normal.
Not trying to hurt her, or trying to?
Not trying to. I'm pulling my punches, is what I'm trying to say. Alright,
Is that one of your moves?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Fight the good fight.
Well, it doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, I can't help but make that work.
I mean, we have 2 team tokens, if you could narratively explain how to help him boost his shadow powers.
I mean, I can help restrain her.
You can say that.
I say, which arms are you binding? Are actual physical arms or ethereal ones? Or translucent ones?
I feel like I don't think I could bind the ethereal one. I'm just trying to keep her in place so someone else can do the dirty work, essentially.
I do have an additional question surrounding this. Are we? I don't remember how we rolled on this. Are we allowed like one passive defend a turn, or is that like your action for the round?
We never really rolled on that, but I've always seen it as kind of a singular passive thing. I don't think it should take your entire turn.
Cool. Yeah, I was just wondering, just so that like in case he has to eat it, whether I could actually, outside of my passive one, actively use my turn to also protect this numbnut.
Yeah, I'd say you couldn't use your defend again on him, but somebody else could. But you're not going to miss your turn.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
All right. I'm fine with not.
Okay.
With this
I'll just put it out there.
Yeah. So as you move up the shadows to create bindings and to wrap them around, they come around the backside of the wall and come around to cover it as they would connect with her. The spectral hands actually grab it and hold it in place, and there's kind of a slight crackle of energy as the shadows just dissipate in their hands, and as they do, you feel this strange sensation you've never actually felt before. You've never had anything transfer through your darkness powers like this, and you get a sense of confusion coming from it.
Like I'm confused, or something's
like
confused?
Something
Okay.
channeled this sense. You're picking up this sense whenever it touched your darkness, basically, from it.
Weird.
Thomas, you're still running.
Yep.
He's the fuck out of there. He's like, no.
Yeah.
In fairness, I will say maybe I got disoriented and just ran the wrong way. I feel like it's better than being like, fuck this.
Nope, totally understand. It's you still may get made fun of it about it, but it's
Go ahead.
Well, I was like, do I want to be confused or a coward?
So, Thomas, go ahead and roll a flat 2d6.
Wow, are you giving him away to back out of leading the combat? Because you might be the nicest GM I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, so since it's only a partial hit, basically when after everybody goes 2 more rounds, you kind of come to out of the whole daze and everything, and you can make your way back in.
Yo, I got super fucking lost in this carnival.
Yeah. Apparently, because this is a zoo.
It's the zoo you live under too.
Oh,
Is
Yeah.
Toko?
he doesn't even know where he's at. You see, that's how bad it is.
But,
I gotta help my team. Oh, look, the penguins.
so we'll go back up to the top there in Stryker if you want to make another go.
Yep. I actually take advantage of her weapons being down to close on her,
Okay.
and I want to high kick her in the throat.
Okay. Roll to directly engage with a +1 for using the situation created by Fee.
I feel like
Actually,
we're making the same mistake.
you would have gotten the +1 there too, Norman, but nobody really had a way to make it fit with your powers.
Yeah. No problem.
Oh, sorry. It looks like I'm taking away your throat. Not permanently, probably, but probably enough that you can't speak at least for a couple rounds. I'm hoping that.
Well, she hasn't spoken at all.
Oh, I meant like. I assume she's blowing into the instruments.
No, there was like a spectral head coming out of her head that was doing that.
And I guess this is the weird thing when you just want to hurt the enemy. What are you taking away from them? Their vitality? Their consciousness? Slowly?
Oh no, you can take away their you can knock the wind out of her.
I mean
through her throat? Oh my god.
That is what a throat kick does.
Yeah.
Well,
excuse me, Connor. Would you like to say? I mean, I don't know. Usually when I get kicked in the throat, I'm kind of done with breathing for a hot second.
As someone who has been kicked in the throat several times, yeah, you just.
Are you guys okay?
The second option. Well, seeing as I'm probably going to have to defend more actively in the future, I'm just going to resist and avoid blows and not, further try to break her psyche since it doesn't seem like she's thinking straight.
Okay. So you run in and you leap in the air to kick her in the throat, and as you do, the spectral hands kind of come to grab your leg, but as you kick her in the throat, her head slams back into the wall again, as her body just kind of slumps to the ground, pulling the spectral arms with them, as you kind of back away. Barricade man, you see this. You see the kid run up and just throat kick this woman as she slams it again into the brick wall and slumps to the ground.
How does talking work? Is that a your turn type of thing, or can I just say something?
Yeah, you can throw out a comment. That's fine.
Yeah, I go, hey, hey guys. Wait, is there people around? Do I have to act like a man?
I mean, Barricade man, who you don't know.
Okay, hey guys.
What are you doing?
What? She seems confused. Maybe. I think we may be making the same mistake.
She's hurting my friends. I do not regret kicking the
Is she though? I point to all the spectral garbage in the air.
I mean, you are currently speaking with some level of injury, I assume, after taking 2 powerful blows successfully. And, he also almost got hit pretty bad. And who knows what happened to Tom as he disappeared. So he kind of looks at all this and just goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure she attacked us a couple times.
And so you hear all that. So how do you react, or what do you do in this situation, Barricade?
I'm just going to look over and say it actually wasn't her attacking. Her eyes were dead. She got up unnaturally. These arms are possessing this body.
I give the most...
Either way, I need to knock her out to move on.
Which makes perfect sense. But there's also a bunch of collateral damage around here, too.
Wait, you said she got up unnaturally? Was she unconscious?
Appeared to be.
Then what? How are we going to knock her out?
Well, and as you say that, as you say, she appeared to get up unnaturally, she kind of lifts up back to a standing position in a way that just defies all reason for a human body to do that. as it almost like unfolds from a crouching position rather than the normal movements of pulling yourself up.
All right.
Oh,
Well, Fee doesn't like the look of this.
I give you the most "I told you so" look you can make without seeing a face.
Yeah, and to which she responds, "I can't punch ghosts." Obsidian. My options are limited.
The ghost can get the chain. You could get the ghost.
Let me try something different. Does one of these hands have any of the instruments in it? Has it recovered any instruments yet?
It has not yet recovered any instruments.
All right, I am going to take one of these instruments, jam it into a hand, and shoot heat vision into the instrument.
Oh,
Okay.
we have Superman.
Go ahead and roll to directly engage.
Okay.
I feel like there's a point where it doesn't conduct heat; it just melts like immediately.
Nope. This dice roller does not like me.
Oh no, that's just roll 20.
Yeah. So you all see the blue-clad hero very quickly speed over to where the instruments have been dropped, pick up the flute, and run it over and try to and jam it into one of the spectral hands. As the hand grabs it and the heat vision shoots out of his eyes, it doesn't actually seem to have any effect on the instrument. As it pulls up to the spectral mouth and another sonic burst blasts into you head on. Go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow.
What the hell is this dude doing?
As in the beams hit it and it doesn't melt, or
Right,
they just go through it. Okay.
Yeah.
Very different. Ghost trumpet.
Other question, real quick. When I've been hitting this woman, have I been able to make any physical contact with this like spectral whatever?
You've been hitting solid mass, so I mean you're assuming it's the physical body, not the spectral limbs or anything.
No, but I mean like from what I understood, it's very like on top of her, right? So
It's like coming out of her.
yeah. So have I been able to touch that when I was interacting with her at all?
You haven't. They were going to try to. The spectral hands were going to try to grab your leg as you came in for a kick.
Okay, so I don't actually know whether I can touch it yet, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of what I could possibly do about person-possessed situation, because I'm a guy who punches.
Mm-hmm.
So on the powerful blow on an 8, you choose one of the lesser options from the move list there.
Okay, so I pick one of these conditions and I take one option from that condition?
Yeah, you can either lash out verbally to these people, but you're not really teammates, so it wouldn't really work on this one. You can give ground to your opposition or struggle past any pain you would feel and mark 2 of your actual conditions on your sheet.
I'll struggle through the pain.
Okay. So on your conditions there, which ones are you going to mark? And why? Like what emotional state or whatever in the situation makes you pick those?
I'm going to take afraid because everything I tried so far doesn't work. And guilty because I'm trying to save these people and I feel like I can't do so effectively.
Okay. So the rest of you, again, you see him take another blast point blank, and it again seems to have no effect on him, as if it's just the wind hitting him on a nice summer day. So then we move back around to Fee.
All right, I am going to try to use water that is maybe around her to try to restrain her by turning it into ice. So I'm going to try to basically encase her arms and her feet up to her knee. So her forearms and her lower legs in ice to try to keep her in place while we figure out how the fuck to deal with this spectral bullshit.
Okay. So directly engage. Or actually,
All right.
well, yeah, directly engage. You're taking her movement.
Yep. All right.
Better than me.
And what other option do you want to pick?
So
I just point out, anytime you don't take resist their blows, you're taking a powerful blow in return.
Which means that I'm
I'll go with resist and avoid any blows from the spectral hands. And I'm also going to kick the trumpet away again, since Barricade Man brought it back over there. I'm like, no, we're not having this.
That wouldn't restrain her movement then.
Yeah,
Or-
it's
or-
either you can either get rid of the instrument or restrain her with the ice, or take a blow as in the process of doing both.
I'll restrain her with the ice, and I'll resist her blows.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of step up and draw in more of the water. Some of it's still around her from blasting her, pulling in a little bit more of it from the fountain as it builds up around her legs and spreading out a little bit on the ground as it all suddenly just snap freezes as she can no longer walk. She shoots another burst of the energy from the flute directly at you, but you're anticipating this time, and you just kind of dive out of the way.
Nod of approval from Stryker. Obsidian. Can I go first? I want to check if we can actually hit the spectral thing and it do anything, because then that might change what you do.
Well, I know it can interact with my shadows, so I was going to hit him with those. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to go up and like. You said that the head was kind of sticking out of her.
Yeah, it's like kind of coming out of her head, and it moves around independent of where she's looking.
So like, I guess I'm going to be not obviously directly engaging, but if I try to grab the back of its head, does a hand connect or does it go through?
If you grab the spectral one,
Yeah.
you'd have to roll.
All right. I'm gonna position it where I grab her shoulders and I go in for like a headbutt, so that if it happens to go through the spectral head, I'll just hit her other head. So at least success either way.
Okay.
Is she wait? Is she part of the environment in this case? Would she be collateral damage?
No.
I wish it worked that way.
So,
I mean, I could create collateral damage, but I don't think you want to punch through the wall, because then that's going to be a lot of property damage as opposed to.
Yeah. Also, she's covered in ice. That might rip her body in half or something. I don't want to.
I don't care about that part.
Okay.
Boom. Yeah. Do I take some spectral teeth with me?
okay. So, what are your two options exactly?
Again, resist and avoid, and I want to take away some teeth, whether they're spectral or hers, I guess.
Okay. So as you run up and kind of leap to do a headbutt on her, in a overzealous fashion, grabbing her shoulders and like almost pulling yourself up into her, pulling your head back and slamming it down. As it passes through the spectral one, you get a sudden burst of just the loudest jazz ensemble piece you've ever heard in your mind. You're able to shake past it, but if it's just it's sounds really great, but man, is it loud. And it's mental though, it's not like through your ears, so it's a strange sensation for you, as then you feel the physical sensation of your head slamming into another head, and that brings you back to the reality as her head gets knocked to the side, and everybody kind of watching. You see, like, as it moves back, her mouth kind of open in pain as like a couple of teeth come flying out of her mouth, blood trailing behind them.
So I can't hit the spectral head. He just kind of mutters to himself.
But I don't know ghost rules.
No,
Can they choose to pick stuff up? When the hand did it, you said it gripped the chain before, right?
It gripped your darkness chain, but your darkness chain's not exactly physical.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know. Okay. Well,
take him to the shadow realm.
So the scroll is always out. It doesn't just come out of her face when she blows the trumpet or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of moving constantly in this current situation, along with the hand still as they kind of reach around, and she still has the one spectral hand.
I'm gonna go for the spectral hand with the flute, and as I run up to it, I'm gonna reach into the shadow that's cast by myself, and I'm gonna pull out like a big old like shadow scythe, like anime style, and just do like a spin and slice down on it.
Okay. Directly engage.
Yep, that's not pulling my butt punches. Come on.
Go for it. I can defend you. Worst case scenario.
Okay, I'm gonna. I mean, if I can't, what would I take? Can I take its existence? Like, I don't know. I want to cleave this thing.
Okay,
I
so
want to take
as
its
you
life, I believe.
as you move up, like a blur of darkness, you all see the shadowy arm reach into its own shadow on the ground and pull out a glob that extends and creates this giant scythe as Obsidian Shade kind of leaps into the air, pulling the scythe back and swiping it downwards. And you see the scythe kind of cut through her physical body, and as it does, the spectral form seems to snag on it slightly as it goes forth, becomes almost like it's being pulled out as the scythe passes all the way through the body. The spectral form snaps back into the woman, but the spectral hands and the head all seem to recede inside of her as her eyes kind of drop down as then shut as she like slumps forward in a very natural looking way of an unconscious woman stuck in place with ice around her legs.
Oh. Okay.
And as this happens, Thomas comes running back.
Wait, what did that mean?
We all just sort of like shrug it. Like, where'd you go, man?
Oh,
Is
I got lost. Okay, jeez.
From an attack that was directly in front of us.
well, he got thrown. Do you see how far he got thrown?
I
I'd be a
mean,
little confused.
yes, but don't you just go in the opposite direction of where you were? You know what? Never mind. I feel like we all need a lesson about defense.
I look around for cameras. Have I been to this place enough that I know where the cameras are?
Yes. And you
Do
see
we-
a couple.
Do we have a deal
Oh,
with the
great.
zoo, or is this a secret?
Oh yeah, no. Your dad had the base built in secret when he paid to have that new wing built.
Oh no.
Like he gave you this one.
Okay.
It's one of his more out of the way ancillary bases. It's not even one of his main ones.
Are we still going in order? Is this?
Oh no, it's
end?
kind of out now. If y'all want to all talk or interact, 'cause she's clearly unconscious and there's no spectral forms. And like I said, as she slumped forward, it's a very human-looking way, not the unnatural movements that she had going on before.
Yeah.
So it's like full like RP interaction now, not combat or anything.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you deal with this? I sort of want to get out of here.
Are you serious?
Okay, I won't. But
You're kind of the only one that can hit the ghost if it comes up again. And I tried.
yeah, I understand. Can I I don't know.
Could you stop worrying about your father?
I'm more worried about seeing a bunch of heroes just come up and break the zoo. I don't want them in. Okay, whatever.
And Barricade, man, you hear all this, including the stuff about worrying about his father and everything.
Oh, I have a father. Big deal.
I'm gonna kind of shrug that off, and I'm going to fly off and start putting out fires with my freeze breath.
Forgot about the
Moving.
fires.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of like most of the damage seemed to be localized here. Like y'all all caught it at the beginning of it. And so I mean the fire, like what little fire there was in some of the ruins of the gift shop, are very quickly put out.
Okay, then I'll start moving the rubble in the gift shop to make sure there's nobody trapped under it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm for sure looking for patrons of the zoo.
I think me and Fire readjusting this woman so that she is restrained, but slightly
Yes.
more comfortable than kind of
And
slumped over on ice.
You're cool.
So we're gonna, since she's unconscious, can we, I don't know, find something to tie her up with and remove the ice?
Well,
Oh,
yeah, you can
shadow
remove
move.
you can remove the ice obviously with your powers easily enough.
Right.
As far as to kind of tie her up, you've all seen the zoo after hours well enough to know where they keep kind of one of the little side rooms, some of the chains to extra bind, like the gates closed and everything else. You know where to find some of those.
Well, I was going to say, if worse come to worse, we're in the gift shop. They always have those cheap leather bullwhips there. We could use those too.
Stryker can work with that.
You laugh because you know it's true.
In fact, there's very little Stryker needs to make a restraining device.
So we move to try to make her slightly more comfortable in her restraint now that the immediate threat has passed. But we're not obviously just going to let her be free.
Okay.
And while he's doing this, he kind of looks up and says, "Are you all right? You did not position yourself best before that last attack."
Fee smiles at Stryker. I'm fine. I took the one blow. I'm good.
He kind of pauses, nods, and then goes back to like making sure this woman is properly restrained and saying, "So the police," kind of like shrugs. He's like, "I don't know or care about ghost stuff. I can't hit it. Don't want to deal with it."
Do we check her vitals? Can we just like make sure she's alive? I did
Yeah.
cut that thing in half.
He's not like.
Okay. I don't know how that affects her.
Why would you? If that's probably the first thing you do before you like. Why would I start restraining without checking? Like,
well, I just want to in game. I want to know if she's okay.
Yes.
We could have done it whenever.
She is alive.
Okay. Whew. That's sort of like.
Barricade, as you're clearing off like rubble in the gift shop, you do hear like some kind of like help from under like the piles near where like the counter would be.
All right, I am going to try and comfort them as I'm removing rubble. Everything will be okay. I'll get you out in just a second. Keep calm.
Okay. And so you pull off the rubble and like the saved by the counter ducked underneath it as some of the rubble fell around it. You see this old man in a zoo uniform who got caught there. Thank you. I couldn't move fast enough to get out with everybody else.
It's okay, buddy. Are you hurt?
No, I'll be okay. I took a lot of worse licks in the war. I don't remember which one it was, but it took worse licks.
Understandable, I can tell. Listen, I need you to head towards the exit real quick. If you see any police or EMTs, let them know what's happening here, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sonny.
If you see anybody else on the way that might have gotten stuck or anything, just yell. I'll be able to hear it and I'll come find you, okay?
Okay. All right, thank you. As he kind of pulls himself up and starts walking out, he grabs a rain stick and uses it as kind of a walking stick to get out very, very slowly.
Why were you in the zoo?
He's wearing an employee shirt.
Ah.
He was working the cash register.
He can't retire. He needs this job.
We know Bob!
But yeah, Norman's definitely out also looking for like patrons, as I said before. I want one person's account of something that is good and not like, oh, the zoo fell on me.
Yeah, I mean, as you're cleaning out some more rubble on the other side, some of the other buildings, you find another couple of people, young kids, probably 14, 15 also, that you pull out of the rubble. One of them seems to have like a sprained ankle.
I'm gonna keep quiet. Oh no. I'll just say
what
you're
was that?
safe. You said it was the little boy that had a sprained ankle?
A couple of 14, 15-year-olds. There's a boy and a girl, and yeah, the guy has the sprained ankle.
Oh no, he must have cancer.
Here, put your arm around my shoulder.
Okay. And he kind of hops up, and she gets up, and they were as they're both freed from the rubble there. He had kind of shielded her slightly, and took the crushing part of the rubble.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's their story.
They're the skeletons. let's get you out of here. We don't know if something might collapse later.
So you get them out of there and help them get out. And in the distance, you can hear sirens coming because, as like all combat in RPGs, despite how long it might take in real world, it's only like seconds or minutes in game time.
Right.
Yeah. I'll probably wait out with them until. I mean, it's a sprained ankle. I don't know if it needs an ambulance, but until someone comes to treat him.
Okay.
And then I'll shadow cloak stealth away mysteriously. Back to the rest.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of once you see some of the lights of like the emergency response in the distance, you kind of portal back to with the other ones a little bit further inside. You took them to like the middle of the parking lot, away from everything.
Stryker kind of, once the police are like seemingly closer by, he's just gonna pull away from the group because he's not in the costume and he kind of already knows that doesn't end well when you're around either. Like they treat you like a bystander, which is annoying, or they're like, "Who are you?" And then it's like, nah. So he kind of chills away from the group when it comes to legal authority.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Same with Norman. That's sort of Obsidian Shade style for a long time now. He's not going to break that. Be seen at the scene.
So, Fee
Don't
actually,
talk to people.
knowing how uncomfortable Stryker is, she will actually go out to greet the police and greet the officials to try to take the heat off of him. And so she's gonna step up and she's gonna deliberately draw the attention to her.
Okay. Thomas and Barricade. Barricade, you've kind of made sure there's nobody else in the rubble or anything like that. What are the two of y'all doing?
All right. Do I see any EMTs or police coming up at this point?
Yeah, you hear the sirens before you see them, but as you kind of look out from towards the direction of the parking lot, you can see them getting closer.
I'm actually going to fly off towards my base.
Okay.
Yep.
I was gonna approach the new guy, but
Got left hanging, bro.
He hits a plane and falls in front of you.
All right, so yeah, as you're approaching Barricade Man, he just kind of takes to the sky as you're kind of as you open your mouth to say something to him.
just hey,
As I'm flying away, I'll be like, "Thank you. You've done a fantastic thing. I appreciate it."
Oh God!
What a
I
jerk.
think there'd be someone more insufferable than Obsidian Shade.
I was.
you're welcome, and I just wave after.
You yell loud enough so all the cops hear.
I say, do I have a chance to hear that?
Yeah.
If I'll turn around, I'll see you waving. I'll actually wave back.
Oh wow! You should feel really honored. He did so.
Good day.
I don't get where people are getting these condescending. I'm trying to be nice to you people.
Listen. You can only take so much until you start
No, I really
putting
meant
on
that. I
other
made a new
people.
friend. He waved to me as he was leaving.
Yeah, like genuinely nice. Like, there's a check for that in Pathfinder. I don't think there's one in this system for that.
I'm just fucking with you. Stryker's the most cynical human alive.
He's like, I gotta go deal with the cops. I'll talk to the flying guy in a minute.
And as you're waiting for the cops, you see him fly up. Or fly off, rather.
Yeah.
Okay. She sort of wants to make a note of what direction he's flying, but at the same time, she's more concerned about dealing with the cops than if she is of focusing on this new hero.
Okay.
Stryker's drinking from the water fountain because it's important to stay hydrated.
He is a water fountain, so she's good.
Yeah, so it's
Well, that's the experience. He's drinking water.
the emergency response teams kind of pull in, and leading the way, you see large armored police vehicles. As they kind of pull up, and the standard hero response unit officers kind of get out, and kind of come running forwards as you're standing there. They have their weapons drawn already.
So I put my hands up and I'm like, we've taken care of the threat. She's been restrained. As far as we know, there are no more civilians inside.
One of them from the back steps out of the truck, and very large individual, kind of wearing a mask himself. Very like a militarized superhero costume, big star on his shoulder.
Okay.
Do what?
I said, okay.
I thought somebody said something else.
No.
He walks up, having heard you as you called that out, and so what was it?
It was a spectral entity. It possessed this woman. We managed to deal with the threat. She was using sonic blasts. It's what caused most of the damage.
He kind of looks around to see who else is there.
You may have noticed a large streak in the sky. My friend took off.
And the rest of you all said y'all kind of like slunk away, right?
Yeah, Stryker is nearby enough that if this officer fucking plays games, he's gonna kick the shit out of him, but like not enough to get caught.
And I'm lurking somewhere like a creep in the shadow.
Might actually be just standing in the courtyard.
Hey, Thomas, what are you doing?
After I got done waving bye to my new friend, I probably just found whoever was closest and went to hang out.
All right, so yeah, you're kind of like hanging out behind Fee. That's the only one you saw. The other one's kind of disappeared on you.
Just awkwardly hanging out behind her while she talks to the cops. Hey.
Yeah, I point to him and I point to the sky. We took care of the situation.
Kind of nods and looks past you, looking at Variable, and you see him kind of squint slightly. His face kind of gets a little bit more stern than it was, and looks back to you. ID, as in the standard, like what's your code name, basically.
Yeah, Amphitrite.
And the others.
Variable, and I didn't catch. Yeah, Variable, and I didn't catch the name of this other hero. You literally took off moments before you got here.
Okay. Yeah, kind of pulls up his wrist. He got a little comm unit on it. 2372. Get a spectral unit. We'll take it from here.
Who are they gonna call?
Ghostbusters?
The spectral unit. He just said it, people. Jeez.
I mean, you can use your fancy legalese, but that's the Ghostbusters if I've ever heard it.
Fee nods at the larger gentleman. Says, all right, Variable, it's time for us to get out of here.
I made a new friend today.
Of course you did. Of course you did. That's awesome. Let's go. We should get ice cream.
Oh, hell yeah.
In front of this officer, you just sound like talking to like a child. I need a new friend today. Oh, that's very nice. We should go get ice cream.
Yeah, Fee and Variable are walking off, so they don't see it, but he's just kind of brings his like finger to like the bridge of his nose, and just like, oh, this damn generation.
Hey, fuck yeah, ice cream is great.
We dealt with the damn threat, all right? We kept people from getting killed. If we want to go reward ourselves with ice cream...
Y'all didn't hear him say that.
I know, but I'm just saying, if we want to reward ourselves with ice cream for saving people's lives, damn it, we get to.
Is it for my birthday or is it like the next day?
Stryker is going to give him a mean glare before leaving.
He notices Stryker's trying to glare. She grabs him by his shoulder. Come on before they see you.
As we leave the crime scene, I walk out of the shadows so 1 to 3 police officers see me as Obsidian Shade and just walk away into the distance.
Roll a flat 2d6.
Okay.
Roll your edgelord.
This doesn't count if you roll a miss for potential or anything.
Oops.
3 of them see you.
Okay. And then I go into an alley portal to the friends, and they look in, and I wasn't even there. It's crazy. Hey guys.
Yeah, you all have a normal meetup spot, like where you'll kind of paste it out on property where the cameras don't really hit. Where if y'all need to portal into the base or somewhere else to make it less obvious that y'all are heroes walking back to the penguin area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, yeah. Feed sort of leads variable off for a while. They duck into an alley,
And
they call their teleporter.
Yeah. And there are a lot of other people in the zoo, but they like all ran further away inwards, so like they weren't in danger in that immediate area or anything. And they start kind of, as they hear everything die down and the police moving in and everything else, they start being taken care of as well.
Well, Obsidian, I suppose you should call your father after handling the incident you had to leave him on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You shouldn't fear him so much.
I shouldn't, but he was a great hero, and I have to respect that, and I am carrying the mantle. As long as I wear this costume, I am responsible for my actions and the actions of my team. He starts giving a spiel that a long list of like the 10 commandments of Obsidian Shade that he's heard a million.
Yeah, he just kind of rolls his eyes and counters with, then take pride in what you do instead of making it sound like everything we do is a mistake.
No, it's only a mistake when the civilians think it's a mistake.
He kind of shrugged, like, I'll never understand your obsession with the other people's opinions.
Believe me, if I could do things my own way, I would. This isn't the time to break form. Perhaps as I evolve into myself as a hero, I can take actions that my predecessors wouldn't have taken. Anyways.
Okay. So you all meet up and portal back into the base. Barricade Man, you arrive at your own little base. If you want to describe that.
It's in the middle of a snowstorm.
It looks honestly like a kind of dumpy room for a 16-year-old kid. Like there's some clothes on the floor. There's a wooden futon frame with a mattress on it. There's a microwave. There's a little like 2-burner stove. Posters of various heroes that take place in this universe up. A couple of girly posters up. A game console hooked up to a TV. And what appears to be a very nice computer, like in the back, in one of the back corners that's plugged in. It's got a pretty wide monitor, one that kind of curves with the corner of the wall, so to speak.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are any of your helpers about or anything, or?
Ooh.
There's a couple of little bit. They almost look like skeletal C-3PO droids running around trying to keep everything clean. One of them is making what appears to be some encore lasagna.
Okay. So yeah, as you pull in there, so what is your, I guess, intentions for now after this situation?
I'm going to go in. I'm going to take off my costume, change back into regular street clothes. I'm just going to have a seat in front of my console and just start playing video games and mumbling to myself.
Okay.
I can't believe how stupid. Oh my god! Why did I give the thing the weapon back?
How many controllers have you melted with your eyes?
Thankfully none. Those things are super expensive.
Okay, so we'll cut back to the base of the other 4 as y'all kind of portal back in.
Oh my god, why do we have so many rich boys in this team?
I mean, I try not to use it.
I mean, you grew up with it, man.
Well, yeah.
It's like, because I
Ugh.
expected some slight it's like uber rich, pretty rich, has helpers, so probably fairly rich. Literally the bottom of economic class is Stryker. I was like, man, Jesus, the contrast is so strong. And what are we doing in the base? We kind of just beat up the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I mean, there's always work for a hero. But
That's the kind of line that gets the full eye roll.
yeah, he
He
has
leaves
a
her
habit.
eye rolling to go change.
Yeah, I plopped the costume back on his little rack.
Yeah, I figured for now at least that was the main reason y'all returned was for the people who are in costumes to get out of costume.
Yeah.
Mhm. For the sake of like everything, can we just say I call him and it are we doing the whenever time passes thing after this, or
Yeah, we can. Let me see. Let me pull that up real quick and double check it.
it just I talked to the person in my legacy, which would be my father. I was just saying we could lump that into the same thing, so I don't have to talk to him and then talk to him again at the end.
Yeah, that's fine. So go ahead and roll.
Oh, no? Okay. Hello, guys. I guess Bear.
Do what?
So that might count completely.
He went into the Aether.
Ah,
The original Obsidian.
Pass this thing now?
What?
So I'm just confused what I'm rolling for. Am I doing the
The
time
roll
pass?
savior. Yeah, when time passes.
Okay. So this is Sophie and Stryker and Thomas. Have I been upholding the traditions of my legacy?
I mean, I don't know what they are. Probably not.
Oh,
Seeing how we
maybe,
destroyed
100%.
yet another area.
Okay, well that's a no. Have I maintained the image of my legacy?
Yes, very shadowy.
That part.
Okay, sweet. Have you made the other members of your legacy proud?
Ooh, no.
I mean, yeah, from what you were saying about your dad earlier, it
No.
doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I'd even say no. Okay, so that is just Savior -2.
Oh, by the way, when time passes, everyone does get to take a condition away.
Okay.
Hey,
So there's
that's
that.
not bad.
Wow, still made it happen.
On a hit, I get some meaningful encouragement. Yeah, Pops. An opportunity or an advantage.
Is there
On
something
a 7 to 9,
Oh,
that is a full hit. But I don't make someone else pissed, so that's
Right.
good.
Okay.
All right.
So you call him up and he answers, and so we needed to talk about something you said.
Yeah, I saw on the news that they captured, although pixelated and grainy, me using my shadow powers on the boardwalk. The media portrayed it as needless violence and destruction, but I can assure you it was to protect one of my allies. There was a reason for what we did.
Glad you called and admitted it. I saw it and was wondering if you would dance around it or come clean.
Nah, why would I dance around that? I'm not ashamed of what I did.
Well, as you said, the footage is very unflattering. so I wasn't sure what the situation was. But if you say you were defending your own, I believe you.
And I did single-handedly take out a ghost girl just a second ago. So
Single-handedly?
you're right. I used the scythe. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it was a team effort. Stryker saved the other one. A guy flew in and didn't do anything for a while. One of my friends ran away. I really don't have there.
You know he's probably going to see this on the news again later. I mean,
She
I won't
did
be in any of
make
this. You
ice.
can say whatever you want about me.
She did restrain him where I had failed. And Stryker did punch the unconscious lady a few times. I'll give him that.
The ghost. He punched
She
the
was-
ghost.
No, he punched the lady that was possessed. She was unconscious, she got up, and the ghost started firing jazz at us. It was a long story.
Jazz.
They were playing, like, saxophones and... Yeah, jazz.
Is this a reference to Batman Fortunate Son?
No.
Sorry. In that comic, Batman hates rock and roll, but he loves jazz.
Oh, no. I don't think I've read that one. But that he gives is one, like... You've heard it before, and it's usually... It's he knows more than he potentially knows more than he's saying.
Have you met something similar?
Not a ghost, but there
was
was a hero. He died in an Eschaton event, helping save the planet. He used jazz music to fight evil. He was known as Jazz Hands.
I start pulling it up as I have him on my shoulder as I'm pulling it up.
It was we lost a lot of people during that, but if he's back as a ghost, I didn't expect you to face any ghost entities this soon in your career. And he was one of the good ones. I don't know why he's not at rest.
Well, it did seem confused when it touched one of my shadow chains. Not quite sure.
Yes, as I said, I wasn't expecting you to face any ghostly entities this soon. There are some other things you may need to know about the powers you use. We can discuss that a bit later, though. Take some time with your team and celebrate your victories.
You see, anyone looking at Norman on the phone, he's a little shocked for a second, and then when his dad says it, he almost chokes up a bit. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. I'll be home later.
I'll see you then.
Think.
And he hangs up.
Yeah, bye. Okay. Hey guys, anyone heard of Jazz Hands? And I point to the screen. I'm guessing there's probably some sort of article.
Stryker turns around and does the hand motion.
Oh god, I set down my ice cream and too.
He puts her head in her hands and just sighs.
No.
Let me pull up this file real quick.
Apparently, he used a similar style of attack as the skeleton. He used noise and jazz. My father seemed to have heard of him before.
Yeah, the most recent articles on him were basically around the reports of the death in the Eschaton incident. It was an interdimensional entity that came to the Earth on December 21st in its warp ship Nibiru, and had the intention of converting the Earth and everything onto it into a processing cell to add to its cosmic quantum computer to aid in calculating the finality theorem, in which it would bring about the end of all dimensions and everything in them. But
Yeah.
it was a combined
Normal.
effort of normals and superhumans, heroes and villains from multiple universes, all working together to stop him. Billions of people from multiple dimensions and realities lost their lives, but some of the main heroes who died in that incident were Hadron the Atomic Man, Prime Directive, the then current Witch Hunter, former teen hero icon Blue Betty, Ultra Plus the Humanoid Battery, and Jazz Hands.
Oh yeah, I control F through all the billions of deaths in Jazz Hands.
Stryker shrugs and says, maybe a villain who can control the dead. What are those called?
Necromancers?
Asshole.
Yes, assholes. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
I prefer that one because it's a lot easier to remember. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's necromancer or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pay attention to half of the stuff that Professor Blackwell watches in her spare time.
The fuck is she watching?
Oh, she's definitely one of those people who watch like those like Truth is Stranger Than Fiction like documentaries on the History Channel for those who are like out there. Like just a cusp above Ancient Aliens, but in that realm.
Oh, come on. Ancient Aliens is amazing.
It magically turns to the person who literally has superpowers and interacts with metahumans. Oh my god, did you hear about this? It's so weird.
Yeah, that's basically what anthropologists do with their lives.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I happened to be studying anthropology when I decided to make her character. Yeah,
I'm a social scientist by trade. Yeah, we're kind of goofy.
Yeah.
More importantly, Dad wasn't mad. That's all I cared about. I mean, we got some info on the spectral skeleton guy, but I'm glad that happened as I was calling him.
Yeah, it turns out just telling people the truth tends to avoid a lot of conflict.
It didn't hurt that I distracted him with the ghost thing right afterwards. Good job in that fight, by the way, guys. He just puts on a different face.
You did an excellent job single-handedly defeating her.
Good job, Obsidian.
Single-sidedly. Hey, I don't know. I wasn't there. For all I know, he's telling the truth.
I mean, you probably ran up right as I chopped it in half. So
I'm pretty sure you can tell from the other people's expressions that that's not how it went down.
I don't know. I'm just still on the couch with my ice cream, so it's whatever. Wait, we have a couch, right?
Yeah.
But it's made of rock. So
Fine, I won't take his comfort for granted.
Barricade. I was looking through my notes. What was the name of your mentor? I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's because we hadn't actually thought of one.
Oh, okay.
Jazz Hands.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the naming convention is for this game, so I'm going to let you name him, and I'll go with it.
Christ. Give me a minute.
When you come up with you're gonna end up with like Jazz Feet or something.
No.
He looks around the room. Water
Got
bottle, vacuum.
Blockade? Maybe?
Well,
Ooh.
he's a lot different than
Yeah.
my actual power set is. Like a lot
Okay, but can
different.
you give me his power set and I could try to help? But
Oh,
I
he's
don't know
big.
anything about him.
He's literally Avatar Roku is what I based him off of. He's an element manipulator.
Dragon old man.
What about? Yeah, you can either go with just straight up the Avatar, or I don't know if you wanted to make it like Elemental Might or something like that.
Maybe
Avatar's
conduit?
fine. That's fine.
Flame. Boy. He grew
Avatar's
out of
fine.
it
It's the
very
first one I heard.
fast.
That works.
All right. Yeah. So a little bit, a couple hours pass, and your phone goes off, and it's
Oh,
unnet.
it probably come. Yeah, it would probably come through the computer screen in the corner. That's his computer
okay.
after all.
Okay, I don't know if you contacted through phones or whatever.
Oh no.
But yeah, the symbol or message pops up. You know, supposed to talk.
You got mail.
I'll go over and I'll log in and I'll open up a chat window.
Okay. And as it pops up, you see as he's kind of like the camera's pulled back and he's sitting cross-legged, kind of hovering in the air. Behind him is just this big display of fire going on, just raging. As he's got his robes on that he normally wears. So I've seen the reports where the descriptions were vague, but were you involved at the zoo?
You can say that. I was there.
What as I said, the reports are vague at this time. What happened?
Well, I get there and this woman appears to be projecting these weird ghosty hands that are playing real old music. The kind of stuff that you have on the records.
On the record.
Good taste. Good
On
taste.
the 8 track.
A lot
Well,
of sandbags being pulled out today.
you would say that until the music that she was playing seemed to be destroying everything in the area of the zoo that she was in. So I take the brunt of it to make sure that the exit is clear so the civilians can get out. I get as many civilians out as I can, and then nothing that I tried worked on her. I couldn't hit her directly because those things were coming out. When I saw her face, I figured she was being possessed, and killing her, I don't think was going to do anything to beat whatever was inside of her, and I can't deal with ghosts, and these other people came in, and I thought they might have been villains of some sort. Turns out they weren't.
Oh, that
Thankfully.
happens all the time. You'll learn that's very common.
Damn.
And they're the ones who ended up actually finishing the job. The only thing that I could do was take hits so innocents couldn't.
Okay. And did you try to stop her attacks in any way?
I did. I tried to wrap a park bench around her. The hands ended up absorbing it. I was thinking maybe that if I jammed metal in and then melted the metal onto one of those ghosty hands, it would shock whatever was in there and it would leave. That didn't end up working because I guess my fire's not hot enough. I don't know.
Oh, who knows the ways of the ghostly realms.
The best that I could do was I could sift through rubble and get people out. I did manage to save quite a few people, though, thankfully.
Did you try anything beyond your comfort zone? Did you try to draw the air away from around her so the sound waves couldn't travel? And you're used to this.
That.
Yeah.
I can't do any of that.
And as you're saying that, the fire, it's suddenly replaced with a swirling mass of water. And this isn't the first time you've seen him call you with a big display on the green screen behind him.
I can fly and I can run real fast. That's pretty much what the air does for me. Maybe the air owes you a favor. You're 800 years old. There's a real good chance.
But did you try? You need to keep trying. You're capable of so much more. I sense your connection to the elements, and I feel you're settling. And again, this is a conversation y'all have had numerous times.
Well, I feel that this particular pep talk isn't really doing anything for anybody. The truth of the matter is, I tried to go in there and do a job. I already pissed off one kid. I probably pissed off a bunch of people that was already in there. I didn't get the job done, and now I'm trying to sit here playing Super Wario Brothers and drown my sorrows in cheap lasagna. Which, speaking of which, I have work in like 2 hours, so I better get ready. Otherwise, I'm not going to have any more cheap lasagna.
All right, well, I didn't call to bum you out, as the kids say. It sounds like you helped prevent further damage, and you stepped up to try to stop her. As you said, though, ghosts aren't really in your wheelhouse, or mine, for that matter. So you did the best you could with given the situation of what you faced.
I don't know. I hope so.
But I will let you get your rest and get ready for work.
All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later, Gramps.
And the green screen kind of flickers behind him as he disconnects.
Oh no.
All right, I'll take that time. I'll put my work uniform on and leave the base and head towards my I guess headquarters, main office, where I get my deliveries from.
Okay. All right, so you make your way there. Start making your way there. Let me read what all of this is going on.
No, we're just making jokes.
Okay. So what are the rest of you all doing?
What day of the week is it?
It's like Sunday, because it was a Saturday for the birthday party, and they said it was the next day. So.
I probably will go check in on that kid, because I mean, he's probably gonna need energy from someone. So just in case the doctor had to go out.
Okay. What's everybody else's plans?
Fee is actually going to go home and try to make good with her parents for a small amount of time.
Okay.
Same. But in a far more awkward, tensiony way.
Oh yes, because there's no tension when your daughter killed your son.
That's true.
In fact, yours might be less.
Well, I have the potential to kill several generations of icons, so, you know.
I mean, right now he's apparently approving of your current status.
That's why I'm going home. If not, I would have stayed.
Milking it for all he can.
Yeah.
Thomas?
I will call that assistant/driver NPC I mentioned. I don't remember if we even gave him a name. And just wander the zoo till he comes to take me home.
All right. Godfrey is on his way.
Love it.
Gilbert, is that you?
Oh,
No.
Oh my god, yes, this is Gilbert Godfrey, who's friends with my dad.
Thomas, where are you?
Oh, please stop.
the track.
It's been far too long.
Oh my god.
I was checking out the birds, Iago. Damn.
Oh,
Did you happen to see the news? It was crazy.
oh, that voice is unreal.
Can you do that? Can that be Barrier Man's voice?
That should
Barricade,
be Avatar's
my bad.
voice from now on. That is Avatar's voice.
But did you try? Do or do not, there is no try.
Man.
So I'm assuming The Stryker, you probably get dropped off by Shade before he heads home.
No.
You could assume that.
No.
No?
No, he'll walk. He'd rather walk than ask if it's not needed.
Okay.
Also, like he's gonna give this boy any leverage. With
All right.
favors.
I know I was giving you shit back there, but I don't have a car. Can I get a ride?
You already
Hell
have
no.
Godfrey on the way.
Which one? Okay, so to keep track, Norman's the one who has a driver but refuses to use him, and then
Yeah.
poor
He
old
lives in the
person will,
garage.
like sitting in dust. But Thomas has a driver that he does use.
Yeah, Thomas has
Yeah.
his own Alfred that he uses, basically.
God, you rich people. Yeah, he's gonna walk like a normal human.
I have him drop me off outside the zoo because he's all about the heroine and is like, hey, can I meet your friends? So I'm like, no, go away.
Okay. So Stryker, it's obviously later. Kind of jump around with time a little bit doing these, but you make it to Blackwell's house or apartment, rather.
Yeah.
And she lets you in, of course, and she seems a little out of it than usual. And before you can even say anything about it, she's just like, the sensation of when he drains the energy is interesting if you know it's coming.
Professor, maybe be a bit more cautious in the future about, you know what, whatever.
Oh, he's a very nice young man. But yeah, he woke up. I offered him breakfast, and I knew what I was getting myself into. I also made him eggs.
Okay.
He's a nice kid. I let him drain my energy. It was weird.
Just I know I brought him here, but don't trust him too much, okay? He kind of gives up and it's like, I'm not gonna finish that sentence, and just walks inside.
No, I've already got. I contacted, my father, and he's being taken care of. He's not here any longer. But I couldn't pass up the opportunity to experience firsthand that.
Yeah, you need any help with stuff today? You seem out of it.
Oh no, it's fine. I've gotten everything else I needed done today. How about you? How are you doing? Any news on any of those teammates of yours? One second. Hey, Barricade, can you switch your thing to push to talk? We're getting the background noise of whatever you're listening to.
Ah, probably my air conditioner.
Oh.
How about now?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thank you. So yeah, back to you're saying something.
We fought a woman who was possessed by a ghost who we think is Jazz Hands.
She just like reaches over and pulls out a notepad. And writes it down, starts taking notes.
He kind of just he's like, kind of describes how he looked. I tried to headbutt it and had a literal mind full of jazz music bass boosted into my skull and just hit the woman instead. We apparently I guess you're going to be extra interested in this. Obsidian Shade abilities can interact with ghosts. He just kind of cut it off.
Very interested. It starts riding a little bit faster.
Hopefully we don't have to deal with that again. I can't really deal with something I can't punch. As far as I'm aware, you can't punch a ghost.
Not typically, I would imagine, but I'm sure somebody out there has some sort of ghost punching abilities. There's all sorts of crazy powers.
Yeah.
If you ever find a ghost puncher, let me know.
Do you have any, I don't know, advice? Short of completely breaking them until they die, there's not a whole lot I can do when placed in that situation a second time.
I mean, ghosts aren't exactly my expertise either. It sounds like Obsidian Shade will be your primary weapon against that sort of opponent. And she kind
Where's
of
the next frame where I break him over my knee like Batman?
she kind of
Damn it, it was supposed to be a GIF where he threw the guy, but that works too.
she kind of thinks for a minute, and I'll look into all of my research and see if I can come up with anybody who may be able to give you better insights on that particular scenario than I'm capable of.
Thank you.
Unless you find the ghost puncher before I dig through my notes.
Hopefully I won't have to deal with another new hero aside from today's interaction. Oh yeah, I guess I met a new hero.
Really?
I don't really know how to describe him other than unimpressive. I just kind of watched him get his shit kicked in for most of the fight and then leave.
What did he do?
Made a barrier. Seemed to have some kind of heat ability. Again, kind of hard to tell when it doesn't work. Heat vision. He just kind of shrugs.
She's scribbling notes and everything. What did he look like?
You know, he gives the general description. It says gave the typical like, "Thank you, citizen," whatever nonsense that like comes out of Obsidian Shade every once in a while.
You know, amongst your community, your attitude towards heroics is kind of the odd one, correct?
Yeah, and frankly, I don't know why on reflection they don't curl up in embarrassment.
It can be overbearing at times as she kind of like glances over to a picture of her parents.
And he's like, he kind of tries to lighten the mood a bit by like recounting their first interaction, which was like, "Thank you, citizen, but I have this handled," and then he walked forward and then lost. And he's like, "And then I had to fight her." So like, it's like dry retold Stryker version, but there is sentiment there.
Yeah. Okay.
Side note, Ghost Puncher sounds like a B movie coming out this summer.
What?
You know, it also sounds like a B movie. It's a B movie.
Okay, we're done.
Like some shitty action horror movie.
So we would jump from that to Fee's house as your parents are both home as you get there. You walk in and you're
You cut out. Who's walking in where?
Oh, Fee.
Okay.
Your parents are both home. For some reason my connection specifically to Discord has been garbage for voice calls.
Same. I have the same ping, but it keeps going down to red and orange.
Because much like Roll20, Discord's a bitch.
But yeah, your dad is sitting at the table with a bunch of a few stacks of paper and his computer out doing some work-related things. You're assuming, even though he's supposed to be taking the day off, and your mom is just kind of um, like not really sure what she's watching. It's some documentary, but it doesn't look like she's paying a lot of attention to it. She has her
Okay.
phone out, kind of scrolling through her phone.
So I sort of like, knock on the side of the wall as they come in. Hey guys, I'm home.
Hi. Your dad kind of looks up and how was your day?
Uh, well, I'm not sure if you're gonna laugh or cry, but I'm pretty sure I fought a ghost at the zoo. You won
You won against a ghost?
at the zoo, yeah.
What was it? A lion ghost?
No, this like ghost figure was possessing this woman and using jazz music of all things to attack well everything.
As you say that, you kind of notice your mom just her thumb stops moving on the phone as you keep talking.
Yeah, it was really weird. I managed to knock the instruments that she had instruments. Managed to knock them out of her hand and sort of subdue her, but yeah, it wasn't until Obsidian Shade really took her out that we managed to really stop her. I sort of restrained her using some ice, but yeah, it was crazy.
Took her out. You killed her.
No, no, she's alive. She was fine. The police showed up and they took the woman into custody.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt, right? You're okay.
Oh, I'm fine. I think a couple of people may have had like some like minor injuries, like a sprained ankle or something, but I think we managed to get there in time before anyone got too badly injured.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you could save some people. And you kind of can tell like it's just almost hurts to
Yeah.
yeah.
And she tries to like smile, but she can definitely tell that perhaps coming home wasn't the best idea.
Are you hungry? We can order out.
I mean, I was gonna ask if y'all like needed me to go to the store or if y'all needed me to go do anything. I know I haven't really been around that much, but if there's anything y'all want me to do, anything I can do to help y'all, let me know.
No, I think we're good. You keep everything. You pick up after yourself. Well, it's fine. If you're hungry, we can order something.
I mean, that would be great. Yeah.
And your mom's just been silent the whole time, which isn't all that uncommon.
You know, I sort of glance over to my mom and I notice that she's just sort of almost catatonic in how she's looking. And I look back at my dad and I go, you know what? I think I'm gonna go see if I can pick up an extra shift at the House of Brews. I think that's what I'm gonna go do.
Do you need a ride?
No, no, it's not too far from here. The walking would probably be good for me. Thanks,
All right.
though.
Yeah. Be safe. To getting. It might be dark before you get back. So.
I will. Don't worry.
Okay.
And so she turns and she goes to walk out and walk at least in the direction of House of Brews. Whether or not she goes there or not,
Right.
she hasn't quite made up her mind. But clearly, being at home wasn't really great.
Yeah. I mean, and your mom does talk to you. It's just anything to do with power and stuff like that. She kind of freezes up.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Now your dad's always kind of tried, very awkwardly, but he puts in the effort.
And it's appreciated, but she could tell that everyone was uncomfortable, so she was like, I'm just gonna remove myself from this. And so she starts walking towards House of Rose just to sort of clear her head, clear like just do something.
Yeah.
Not really sure what's gonna happen when she gets there. She's just moving. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thomas, Godfrey showed up. He picked you up, and y'all are heading out and everything. So a lot of destruction, it looks like, happened today. Have a good time, sir.
Yeah, it was fun. I ain't telling him shit.
I forget. Does he know you have the powers and stuff? Obviously, he knows who your mom is.
He knows and is like so excited. That's why I don't tell him anything, is because he knows about it and was like, holy crap, I'm going to be driving around a superhero kid. Maybe I can meet some superheroes. And I'm just like, no.
So, what happened here?
I got lost, and apparently there was a ghost.
A ghost? It's a zoo. How did you get lost? You're here all the time.
I don't know. Directions are hard.
Well, they can be when the damn GPS doesn't work right. He kind of like taps the phone that he's using for the GPS.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly what it was. Hey, man, is my dad going to be home tonight? Do we know?
No, I won't think he'll be out for another week still.
Oh, okay.
We can find something to do though. We can go somewhere and have a ripping old time.
God damn it, this voice.
Perhaps you can introduce me to some of your hero friends, and we can save the day together. I have training, I was in MI6.
No, I don't think we're gonna need to do that. Okay, sorry. I think I got my gigs out. We're good. We're good, guys.
Well, if you ever need need of my special skill set, I will gladly aid you in your fight against evil, sir.
I'll keep that in mind, Godfrey. Thanks. How about some pizza?
Pizza.
I don't eat human food.
Any particular place, or?
Oh, I'm trying to think if I would even have a favorite pizza place.
Do you get any coupons for free pizza? Free school?
What even pizza places are around here? Or in Halcyon, that is.
I mean, like the basic, like real world ones, or a few like made up mom and pop shop type ones. So whichever you prefer.
Larry's.
All right.
Give me some big potato pizza.
Punching in the address now to Larry's from this place. I'm not quite sure of the directions from here. Perhaps if I spent more time patrolling with you, I would learn these streets better.
God, I gotta pawn him off on the doctor.
Whoa.
Are we trying to have a love connection?
We did talk about that in episode 0.
We did.
I can have a costume ready at any time, sir. I can.
Yeah, you've shown me the sketches.
I'm particularly fond of the mask design.
All right, I'll keep it in mind.
And the gloves, I'm actually having some custom made as we speak. Don't know how well they'll function, but once I have them, I will gladly aid you, sir. I will have your back, as they say.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this is a speech I've heard like a million times, probably.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Merry Christmas. Can I be a superhero yet?
Man, these drivers are going to union. We're going to be screwed.
So
Oh no, you'll have to walk. Oh wait, you have shadow teleporting. Why do you give a shit?
oh. He makes the ways to Larry's there, and we'll go ahead and call it a night at that point. Go through the into session moves though now. Barricade. If you go to the handout 2, you'll see the into session stuff.
Norman and his dad watch Family Feud for the rest of the night.
Yeah, we had the phone call for that one.
I brought that up. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'll grow closer to. I don't even. Actually, I'm just gonna grow into my own image. I can't. I need to have a moment where I'm actually growing closer to someone who isn't Phi. Though I did interact more with Norman, I don't know if I could ever really truly grow closer to a rival. I'll do superior down, savior up, since I did save someone, but I did throw a park bench, so really not tactical masterpiece at work here.
All right.
I'm not actually seeing that. The other hand that you gave me was just more character classes.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. In roll 20.
Yeah, in roll 20, it's
moves part 2.
Pages 2.
Or page 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, moves 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the left there.
I have a PDF of that with everything else I can send to you. That I'll send to you in about once we get off of here.
There's a into session, and it's like grow closer to the team, grow into your own image, or grow away from the team. Obviously, for Barricade Man, the last one wouldn't really count because it's not really a team yet.
Right. Yeah, I'll end up growing into my own image.
Okay. And yeah, so you can move one of your labels up and one down, and kind of explain why you're moving those.
So these pluses and minuses over here, I can change them.
Yes.
You can add one to one and subtract one from another.
Yeah. Your labels right now are fine, but 3 is the highest you can go, and -2 is the lowest you can go. But like I was saying, like your labels change pretty frequently in this game. They're not permanent like D&D stats or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, they only freeze under very particular conditions. Either A, an advancement, or B, you use the fancy smancy moment of truth.
So I'm going to go up a savior and down a superior. Because I spent most, if not all of that fight specifically just hurting people out of the danger zone. And I didn't actually assess the situation at all before I went in punching first, so.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go. As much as I'd like to grow closer to someone with that sweet, sweet potential, I don't think I really did. It was sort of a linear. But it was the first time I got to scythe something, so that was pretty cool. So I think I'm going to put danger up one and maybe mundane down because I killed a ghost or something. Still don't quite know what happened.
Okay.
I mean, even if it was filled with sass, I did actually give you useful advice. God, was it filled with sass, but it turned out.
Do I want to do that though? We'll keep that for next time.
Yeah.
A little more than that. So yeah, I'm danger up, mundane down.
All right. Fee or.
All right. I'll go next. I'm gonna say that I grew closer to the team. obviously the fact that Stryker intervened to like save me and all that absolutely made me feel more welcome. But also the interaction I had with my parents sort of made me pull away from them and go back to the team as such, because she obviously didn't feel sort of that welcoming that she would have really liked to have feel.
Yeah.
And so she's going to sort of rededicate herself to obviously going back to the team and focusing more on the team, because it's very sort of clear that things just aren't getting better at home.
Okay.
And so she's going to sort of rededicate herself to the team and to trying to be better for the team in the future so that she doesn't get knocked down again.
Okay.
All right. And I think with that, I get to mark up potential.
Yep.
Uh,
Or clear condition. Growing closer.
I didn't have any conditions.
Okay.
you know, short of like, because I don't want to say danger down, because that's not what should be chosen here. So weirdly enough, I'm gonna say superior down, mundane up, because to Stryker, in Stryker's point of view, I guess to like you still haven't gotten the whole fighting thing down yet. Like you still kind of fight like someone who just got powers. Like obviously with like kind of positioning yourself in a way where you get blasted. And like when we stepped out of when we got prepared to ambush this person, you failed the counter ambush immediately with the rest of the team. So like we're obviously still kind of kids at this.
Okay, so you said superior down, mundane up?
Yep.
Okay.
Heat of the moment.
All that's left is variable.
Yep.
I don't know. I got lost for the entire fight.
Yeah, you really did, huh?
I mean, I have a suggestion for that.
Okay.
It'd grow into self-image, and it would be. Can you let go of the mic?
Right. Yeah.
Grow into self-image and it would be mundane up and superior down because you got fucking lost and ran from a fight.
Or alternatively, you could grow closer to the team because we did give you presents at the beginning of the session. So you do have two options ahead of you.
You know what? I'm gonna go with grew into myself because I got lost and only had myself.
This is what I want to be in the future.
Myself.
Well, look on the bright side. You left the combat, but you weren't hit by a car.
This is true.
Fair.
Okay, and with that, we'll go to a post-credit scene of the room that we saw at the end of last one with the sort of looks like hero memorabilia on the wall and the chair in the middle with a blonde-haired individual sitting in it in a poorly lit space as the door kind of creaks open, and the same one he had called to before to giving the order kind of pops his head back in, and we've made contact, sir. They're out of country now, but they'll be en route as soon as they can. And the man sitting at the chair just kind of nods and good. And we cut once more outside of Fee's house as she's walking away, having closed the door, as the camera kind of pans up to the roof, and on top of the roof, as the camera comes up over to the ledge, we see a little pool of water kind of there, and a pair of bare feet as it goes up, and we see kind of swim trunks dripping with water, and a little bit further as we see a young boy soaking wet, pale blue, kind of points kind of coming out of his side where ribs seem to have punctured organs, kind of standing on the rooftop, just dripping water, eyes dark, watching as she walks away.
Oof.
How did I get on this roof?
Great! Her dead brother's back as a ghost.
Gotta say though, it's nice to not be me for one. I'm so used to my family growing up. I'm like, wow, it's weird being on the other side of witnessing this happen to a teammate. Granted, I killed this boy, probably.
But we
Man,
did
those
make
of us
sure.
who killed anyone are feeling great.
We did make sure the other person was alive, so Maybe it's something different.
I can't wait for a new way to me to have justifiable self-defense. I can't
can't
believe
wait
it.
for Fee to have a complete mental breakdown when she sees the ghost of the brother she killed appears.
Oh, that's what you got your team for. I'm
The Ghost of Brothers Past.
like, it could be worse. Your team could not like you, then you'd be all alone.
True. Very true.
You have a very
she is-
supportive team.
And she's fairly useful. She does her best to support the others.
They're always hydrated.
They are always hydrated. She is the best goddamn water fountain ever.
I think that's still like a little weird for Stryker to ask. Be like, hey, can you water? Yeah, nah.
Water me.
He just goes to like a water fountain.
I figured he would just have like a bottle and she would just like shoot the water into the bottle instead of like creating something for him to drink out of.
Somehow that's a little more weird.
She extends her finger and just like shoots water into the bottle form from across the room.
But it takes like an uncomfortably long time. You have to like hold it there for like a minute as it fills up.
It goes at the speed of an actual water fountain. I'm glad we made sure to establish this before ending.
That is important. That is
It's
important.
Important lore questions that really haunt me at night.
Oh.
I was entertained.
Oh, I loved it. It was great.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was robbed of a chance to attack someone from behind, but on the flip side, I got to be legally justifiable in my actions again. I really thought we were gonna kick the shit out of her, but we stepped out of the portal and immediately got hit. I swear to God, if I had rolled a 12, I would have actually killed you with my bare hands, Lucid.
Like that wasn't why I was asking. Like because I planned to do that. The way it all went down was dependent on everybody's actions. I mean,
I don't believe you.
I was going to actually not come out with them and come out somewhere else. That would have been cool if I actually went through with it. But no, I got blasted.
We all roll 12 and all get taken out of the combat. It's just bare man against one thing.
Put us in the street, we just get run over.
no, hopefully you enjoyed it too. Barricade still obviously working to get everybody more as a team.
Really?
It's fun. I just felt like I caught a bunch of shit for a bunch of bad rolls. I mean, I couldn't control it.
Well,
Really?
Oh, yeah, don't worry. That's Matt.
I mean,
yeah.
It was more like I got work to do, get out of the way, and then just like fuck up.
And it was very much a character thing. It wasn't like directed at you as a player or anything like that. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, not at all, man.
As a player, I deeply sympathize. That's exactly how my first experience with Mass went for weeks.
oh,
Lucid just saw me fail at everything I did.
Like as you saw when you miss, you get the potential. I think you had what 4 or 5 potentials by session 2, or 4 or 5 like power ups or something.
I had like 4 advancements by like session 3. It Cameron was like, I don't know how your character's gonna make it past 1 month at the speed you were leveling up.
Well, one of the advancements is to become a paragon of the city. So, I mean, you get screwed up, but everybody loves you.
No.
what do potentials do?
If you look on the playbook, you'll see advancements. Every 5, you can pick a basic advancement, and after you have 5 of those, you can pick a advanced advancement.
5 potential equals an advancement.
Yeah, and then but you can get 5 advancements then too before you can go to the bigger ones. I might have said that weird, but yes, 5 potential equals 1 advancement.
Yeah,
Okay, and then
5 advancement equals the basic advancement, but you could then get 5 to get one of the bigger ones. I was like, wait, might want to adjust that statement.
Yeah. And so, like, you can see on there some of them, it lets you, like, permanently freeze a stat in place or rearrange your stats or give you a stat bonus. And or take a move from somebody else's playbook for basically for flavor. So like not every character is always the same every time they play or something.
Yeah, and that's also how you get your moment of truth. Which, if that's been explained to you, is
Not
you
yet.
get the narrative wheel for like a scene.
Right.
You get to be God for like a couple minutes, and then you lock a label. Which me and Lucid did not know that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which led to like a funny situation where we just house ruled that not being a thing in Cameron's campaign, because then at that point every label but one of mine for my character would be locked, and I was like, well, I can't act. No one can change how I feel about anything anymore.
And so yeah, basically at that point you can't control other people's characters when you do it, but as far as interacting with the world and what you're trying to accomplish, you pretty much have complete narrative control.
Yeah, which, I mean, depending on the level of your, it's also a little dependent on your playbook.
Yeah.
With varying degrees. The ones who get the most freedom usually is Nova, because they're like, yeah, you're a god. Just like, you're gonna scare everyone, but like, go nuts, kid. And Doom just says you can do whatever you want, which I've seen used very liberally by both of the Dooms I've played with.
Yeah, Fantasy and
One-
Lunacy there. He's a doomed in the other Master game, and he finally used his moment of truth and put all his other teammates inside of him.
That's way more tame than yours, which was like, I hack into the secret organization's databases, teleport to 3 villains, and plant a bomb in them, give them weapons, force them to comply with my rules, and go back to the corporation I went through. I was like,
To be fair, I also expended multiple Doom track points and my influence over them. It wasn't all just a moment of truth.
and
I knew even for a moment of truth that was a lot, and so beforehand I asked Cameron, and I was like, if I use all of this, can I do this?
and then didn't you use like a second one to liquefy the building?
Yeah, I used the second one to resolve the plot line, and yeah, building got liquefied and leaked all the corporate secrets into the world and the government and all that stuff to ruin the company.
And
Fun.
then the third Doomed used it to change timelines so that when our team came together mission completely changed and he was dead instead of who was supposed to die. So yeah, like all Doomed ones are just terrifying to me. They take the narrative to a level where either all the players are confused, or with the second case, the DM is thrown for a loop. Because before anyone could go, what? The DM went, excuse me? I don't think I've ever seen that happen in my entire life. I was like,
Well,
wait,
let me see. Mine. Yeah. My character over in the other game is able to absorb people and use their powers. So for my moment, I just absorbed the entire team and used everything at once to beat the shit out of a guy. So it can be fun.
To be fair, also the guy was he had absorbed a city basically on future Earth, and he was trying to stop him.
It was basically the end of Akira.
Oh no.
And the guy was also his doomed nemesis.
Oh yeah, that was also I can't. I'm like still tilted thinking about who uses their advancement to face their doom and then uses their moment of truth to die killing their nemesis. That kills the whole point. Ugh, why were we fighting? Masks makes me sad. All of them have ended sad.
See, when the GM laughs like that, that worries me slightly.
He pictures us drowning in the moon Nazis.
Oh, that's letting us off way too easy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
He won't grant us death. He'll make us wish for it. That's the DM job.
He keeps chuckling nefariously. That's never a good sign.
Okay, so speaking of crazy moments of truth, before we wrap up, I was reading over the Scions since I guess my playbook isn't officially published yet, or
Yeah.
we don't have a PDF for it yet, or something like that. But
I gave you the PDF.
no, yeah, I've got it, yeah. But yeah, that moment's gonna be fun. It's another one of those become super crazy powerful for a minute. Hope people still like you afterwards.
I think the bulls
I mean,
just
that's
like
like
hit
all.
things harder than usual. Congratulations.
Mine literally is like, you're better than you're dead. So I'm like, sweet, okay, cool. I'll take it.
I think, like, in terms of writing, my favorite's probably the Protege, because it's like one of those, like, this is the moment where you truly become something different from your master, or you exemplify your master in this moment, which is like a very complicated feeling thing for the person afterwards.
All right.
That's mechanics talk. I'm gonna go eat something.
All right.